garden of good creativity. We get free, be me, work it effortlessly. Do what you love and then allow the prosperity. You got this. Make good, make it your own. You know you got the power in your mind, heart, body, and soul to grow dreams, grow faith, grow you. Create authentically in the garden of good. Live, and love. In a garden gonna dig, big, and trust. In the garden gonna create, elevate, celebrate, and love. It's all I got for you tonight is love. And if you've been following the journey tonight, you know I have a tiny little thing, a tiny little package on my lap, which he's napping, so I will show you him as we go on. Hi, I'm Amy Steinberg. You know me. But for those who happen upon this on the YouTubes, I'm Amy Steinberg, and this is the Garden of Good, and we are a creative expression community, ministry, if you will, where we just create good in our lives using my book as a guide. Of course, a puppy. This is the first time the puppy is hearing me sing, so I am very excited about this. We'll see how he reacts. I thought that maybe what we would do is we would do a song that you might know already of mine, and we just sing about love, because tonight we're going to talk about food. That was the prompt for tonight, and what better food is there than love, right? Love, sweet love, goes like this. Love, sweet love, surrounds me now. Love, sweet love, comes through. Love, sweet love, surrounds me now. Love is the only truth. Love is the only truth. And we repeat that last line. Love is the only truth. This is some food for your soul. Come on. Love, sweet love, surrounds me now. Take a deep breath. Love, sweet love, comes through. Breathe. Love, sweet love, surrounds me now. Love is the only truth. Love is the only truth. One more time we sing. Love is the only truth. Let's do it one more time for the puppy. Love, sweet love, surrounds me now, comes through. Love, sweet love, comes through. Love, sweet love, surrounds me now. Love is the only truth. 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 Deep breath in and sigh it out. Very nice. Just a reminder that we are in the Garden of Good. It is week 33. That's my lucky number. 33. Food. Watermelon is going to be we're going to be all about watermelon tonight, because watermelon is such a divine representation of the food for our soul. And as you know, the Garden of Good is 4 12-week sessions-ish. It's basically all year round, 4 quarters. We're in the middle of the body, which is just, I'm feeling all the sensations that the body can feel, including grief and love and joy and exercise and eating garbage and eating wonderful things, all of it. Roots and fruits. It's one of the ideas here for the garden, is that for each quarter we pick a root and a fruit. I was very clear for the first 2 quarters. I am unclear right now. I know my fruits have to do with continuing the garden and continuing with creating my show Ministar. Of course, just a quick reminder that kindness first. Please be gentle and kind with yourself as we are entering a creative space, and we can be judgy, comparing our art to other people's art or comparing our expression. Just be yourself, and everything is your choice. Camera is optional, and say it with me, It's confidential. Meaning, when I record this, I cut out all the stuff that you guys say unless I get your permission. And so I'm going to turn it over to Reverend Christy for an opening prayer.
Hello, gardeners. I have something very special for you tonight as a prayer. These are called essential prayers, and there's about 60 of them, and I'm going to share three. And what happened was I learned about the olfactory sense in us. It's the first place we taste by smelling. It's the oldest one of our senses. So I smelled all these essential oils, and then these prayers came through. So, what I want you to do as I read a prayer for a particular oil, a particular fragrance, is to imagine that fragrance as you listen to this prayer. Basil. Imagine crushing that in your hands as you're making it for pasta. I am deeply grateful for all that is flowing in my life. I appreciate every opportunity and gift of choice presenting me every moment. This is natural abundance and it flows. Continuously, I am filled with the answers for my questions and the way forward on my journey. All is well. Flow, basil. Black pepper. You're churning it right over that cacio pepe pasta. You're churning it over your salad. Black pepper. I am greater than anything that has happened to me. Everything I have experienced has made me who I am. I release my feelings of guilt and recognize that as I have known better, I have done better. I release my feelings of anger and recognize that each person has acted at the level of their understanding. I now forgive myself and others for all the ways we have acted out of fear, and I now surrender myself to love. In love, as love, through love, all is well. And finally, I want you to imagine yourself peeling an amazing orange and the smell of that rind as it enters you. Wild orange. I place my attention on my inner well. I see the substance of life filling me up. I breathe into the unlimited source of love that fuels the universe. I am supplied with all the energy that is needed to fulfill my purpose. I rejoice that I am capable, willing, and ready to give what is mine to give. In this perfect moment, my presence is enough, and all is well in my soul. Basil, we release. Black pepper, we release. Wild orange, we receive. And so it is.
I'm going to get up and I'm going to stand up and we're going to stretch up and over to each side. Of course, do what you want. You don't have to do the whole thing. But once I get away from the mic, up, over, up, over, just down. Let's go again. Up.
Oh, look at him. Oh,
One more
so
time.
cute.
And then you'll meet everybody. Oh. Before we meet the little pup, let's do a little neck stretch because that was really good for me last week. So, the ear to the shoulder, gently, gently. The arm over, gently. Breathing. Slowly floating up. Over the other side. Gentle, you guys, with the neck. Letting that shoulder drop a little bit. Breathing. Floating up. And then looking down. And I will show you this puppy very quickly before I put it back.
Oh my God, how cute.
So, I don't know how to mute everyone. If we could all mute. Okay. Want to say hi? Everybody needs a little puppy love. Okay. So I'm going to put, oop, his foot is caught. I'm going to put him back in there. You can stay in there. You okay? Yeah. You guys, I just couldn't wait any longer. I don't know. Maybe I should have waited longer. Some people think I should have. I follow my heart with things like puppies. So, okay. All right. So, before we get into it, I just want to tell you about my current roots and fruits and hear from all of you if there's anything going on. I will say that I have still been a little bit just in grief over the loss of my dog and feeling a little bit of a contraction in general when it comes to creativity and trying really hard not to beat myself up that I'm not like outputting as much as I have this whole year. If you think about this year for me, I did the dollhouse, the book about the dollhouse, Ministar, traveling, so much output. I think now, and I think the summer, especially the end of summer, can be about that, can be about really slowing down, getting ready to release and starting over. So I'm just being gentle with myself about the fact that I kind of don't have a lot of focused goals other than the travels I have coming up, which is actually quite a lot of it. I'd love to hear where you guys are, any awakenings or big things you'd like to share with the gardeners. We're calling this slices of sweetness. Slices of sweetness. Okay. And what we're going to do is I'm going to guide you. All you're going to really need is black, pink, and green marker or crayon or color, because those are the colors of the watermelon. Let's see if we can get well, I guess it doesn't matter. I'll show you very quickly how to do this, and then and what you're going to do is you're going to fill your page with these little pink slices, like half of a circle, right? So the pink slice, first it's a pink slice. The little puppy is smelling. I'll just show you a couple and then I will let you take it over. And so first there's the pink slices, and I filled my whole paper up with it, right? And then you just put green around the slice, which is the rind, right? Green around the rind. Sorry, buddy. Green around the rind. I'm just showing you real quick. You can take your time with this. I'm not trying to rush you. See, green around the rind. And then there'll just be little black dots. Little black dots, just like the little black dots on this tiny, teeny chihuahua. This little chihuahua has a black spot shaped like a heart right on its butt. How cute is that? So here's some black dots around, in the watermelon slices. And then around them, because it's called slice of sweetness, those things that bring us sweetness in our life. As I give the talk, whatever comes to your mind as you make your slices, you can fill them up with your words. So again, a very simple doodle, slices of sweetness for you to do while I give you a little teeny tiny talk. Oh my gosh, you guys, this teeny tiny chihuahua. One more look at him. One more look at him. he's just loving being on my lap. He's just having the time of his life. You doing okay? You're a gardener of good, aren't you? All right, let's talk about watermelon wisdom. Watermelon wisdom. Here's your little teeny tiny talk. Let me pull it up. I wrote it out. All right. Well, here's a little watermelon prayer. Oh no, that's at the end. Okay. All right. So tonight we're going to talk about food, glorious food, but not just food, glorious food. Watermelon is going to be the representation of sustenance that we talk about tonight. And it's the juiciest intentions for you tonight. This sensual, ridiculous, spiritual, beautiful watermelon. So watermelon is not just a fruit, it is a sacred seated sermon for you today. There's a cosmic lesson of watermelon today. It's like this summertime oracle wrapped in green skin, striped like a jungle, hiding a whole universe of pink lushness within its water, its sugar, its sunshine. It's a moment of pause. It's the joy that you can eat. But more than that, it's this symbol of abundance, nourishment, and refreshment. That's what tonight I want you to think about when we're talking about food: abundance, nourishment, and spiritual refreshment. What I thought was interesting when I was reading about watermelon today was that it's 92% water. 92% water. So it's like eating a watermelon is the same as, it's like this prayer for the body. It's this hydration ritual. It's a sacred sip in every bite. And Ernest Holmes talks about this wellspring of life, that it's, this idea that when we take, there's a flow, there's a water energy of inlet, outlet, the energy of life flowing through us. So when we take in something as naturally hydrating as watermelon, it's revitalizing. It's literally practicing the spiritual art of receiving. And the watermelon says, don't be afraid to let yourself be filled. You are allowed. This really hit me to think of it as you're allowed to be nourished and quenched. That's this whole puppy thing. Listen, I've been longing for a puppy pretty much since my dog passed. And everybody's, wait, you need to wait. I'm like, you know what? I'm allowed to be nourished and quenched with my puppy desire. So what's your watermelon, right? What's filling you right now, and what are you desiring? What are you needing quenching, And there is potential in every bite. Listen, this is another cool fact about watermelons. A single watermelon can contain 200 to 800 seeds, which is, of course, a blueprint for an entire other watermelon. And that's abundance, right? So how often can we forget that one act, one small kindness, just like what Sherry was talking about, one small prayer, one idea, one smile, one you be you, can contain hundreds of seeds for future goodness. So the second sort of, watermelon wisdom is that everything you create has the potential to multiply. Every good you give, but also your mess, your mistakes, everything you think you'll never recover from. Guess what? That's compost for the sweetness. Spit your seeds, cast them wide. Scatter your love. Be generous with your gifts. And I just love the idea of the colors of the watermelon. The outside, if you think about it, the outside of green, which is the heart chakra is green. And then inside, pink, which is also a color of the heart chakra. So it's like this, it's protective on the outside, but once you get in there, it's like almost embarrassingly joyful. And it's like this metaphor for all of us. We built up this rind to survive this spicy world, but underneath we're just this rosy little sweet little heart, and we're meant to be shared. I love that a watermelon, that it's so big you have to share it, right? So let yourself be cracked open. Let your watermelon be shared. Try to be like the watermelon, cool, open-hearted, full of delight, surrounded by seeds of possibility. And you know what else about watermelon I'll just say at the end here of my teeny tiny talk? It's messy, isn't it? It's so messy. You can't really eat watermelon without just surrendering, like Summer was talking about, surrendering to the drip, to the sticky, to the slurping, which is spirituality at its finest. It's not neat, it's not polite, it's messy, it's juicy. It makes me think of that song, that hit song right now. I'm too messy and open up my big mouth, like I'm messy. People who know me know I can be messy. And the Garden of Good is not a manicured lawn. It's a wild, tangled jungle of becoming. So let's celebrate our mess. Let's the seed spitting, the elbow dripping, the heart thumping, the joy-filled bites of life. So I'm going to close here with a little, oh yeah, get messy. First of all, get messy with your watermelon by a chihuahua in the middle of the week. And here is a little blessing that I'm going to say out loud. And if you want to say it with me, if you can read it, if it's big enough to read, let me just see if anybody's come in the room since I've been talking, because several people told me they were going to be late tonight. All right, nobody's here late. Okay, just wanted to check. And I know that James was going to come in to give us our tapping at the end. He has a million things going on. He just moved. All right, so let's say this together. May you be filled with sweetness. May your heart be hydrated. May your dreams be seated in faith. May your laughter be loud and juicy. May you taste life with your whole mouth. And may you never, ever forget that you are worthy of being fed. You are worthy of being fed. Pieces of colored paper, if you have colored paper, pink or red and green. Yeah. Do you have colored paper? If you don't, you can just do it with, 2 pieces of white, or you could do it with 2 totally different colors. You don't even have to make your watermelon a typical watermelon. You could make it any kind. I have a pink. I'm going to go a lighter pink this time. And here's another green. Oh, there's a baby who's coming up. There's a baby. You want to say hi? Somebody wants to say hi. Oh, I'm getting kisses already. I'm getting kisses. Oh, I am in love, you guys. Okay. All right. So
What does TT's puppy breath smell like? Is it so delicious?
Oh my gosh, it's everything. It's just everything. It's just pure love and light.
I was thinking about Christy
I wonder
talking
if I
about
should-
senses, and I was like, yes, this is
Oh,
appropriate
senses.
to ask.
Yes.
Crislin, I was just going to ask the same thing. Thank you.
Yes, it smells like joy. Yeah. So how I made my ovals is I just took a piece of paper and I folded it in half. And then you can draw a half circle like this, like a wider half circle, almost like, so it's going to be round like that. Or you could just cut freehand, right? You could just cut freehand. And then we're going to cut it out. I'm doing this backwards because I don't have my camera. That's it. So simple, right? So simple. And then we're going to take our pink and we're going to cut the same shape, just a little bit smaller. The same exact shape, just a little bit smaller because it's fitting inside of it, right? And nothing has to be perfect. And if you don't want to, mine wasn't small enough, so I got to make it a little bit smaller. This is going to be an artistic dog. And then we take our glue stick, and then I put my pink right on top of it. And it's not perfect. It's not the exact shape. You see, it's not perfect. And then for my seeds, I just made like little, like eye-shaped seeds, right? Again, you've just been making seeds. Now we're not going to make 200 of them because that would be ridiculous. But can you imagine that one watermelon can have 200 to 800 seeds? And then what I thought is that this might be something for our board because we haven't had anything to hang up in a while. We've been doing mostly just doodles. But I thought what we might do before our breakout is we might think about, this is going to drive me nuts since it's not the same shape. I'm going to I'm going to clean it up a little bit. Or I'm going to make this match that. How about that? See how they match? I guess it doesn't really matter. Watermelon rinds are all different thickness. I love that about the watermelon. They're all different shapes. You know, it was funny. I went to buy a watermelon the other day and I didn't know how you pick a watermelon. And you pick a watermelon by tapping on it. Some of you might know that, knocking on it. And when you knock and it sounds like it's hollow, it's ready. I guess you guys probably already knew that. But in case you didn't. And then for my original one here that I wrote, I basically wrote an affirmation connected to this idea of the food being sweet. So I wrote, I deserve to live a full, sweet life. My life is juicy and I deserve to be nourished. Because that was that whole thing of quenching and nourishing that I think sometimes we let ourselves be malnourished spiritually, emotionally, physically. I loved hearing Somer talk about the exercise being something fun and nourishing and that awakening. That was really powerful. And I'm going to consider that this week when I'm doing my exercises. Can I have fun with this instead of feeling, like that it's, some kind of torture?
Zumba is my jam. I love Zumba.
Zumba is fun. Zumba's hard. Zumba will kick your booty. I think I might need to get involved with some Tai Chi. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. So I'm going to write another affirmation. I'm going to give you a moment. I'm going to be quiet and have you write your affirmation. And then I'll have us go into breakout rooms to share our affirmations and share what came up with us around nourishment, quenching, thirst. What are you wanting? Do you have sweetness in your life? Is there more sweetness that you desire? I'm going to write that down, Christy. Really excited. Yay.
I'm excited that I made it too. I was running. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna get there. So I have looked at my calendar and like I have tried to clear out all of my Tuesdays because what I don't think about is my husband and I currently share a car. And so if I need the car that day, I have to go pick him up. He gets out when Garden of Good starts. So anyway, so I rushed here and got here. So today I would like to do a little bit of tapping on the power of imagination. And so the founder of Unity talked about this power of imagination as our faculty that shapes our understanding. It's the shaping faculty of the mind is what he called it. And so the body location is right between the eyes, kind of where our third eye is. And there is a color that Fillmore associated with this, which was the color light blue. Actually, I don't think Fillmore associated them with colors. I think that evolved as the Unity movement evolved. I kind of like colors. I'm a creative visual person anyway. And so when I have a color and I do, work with these 12 powers, I like to visualize color. And so when we're doing tapping, we focus on sort of the opposite. So we have it's kind of like in some New Thought traditions, like Unity and a few others, they talk about both denials and affirmations. Denials as being clearing out the space, and an affirmation is imprinting a new thought pattern, right? And so when we're doing tappings, we will often focus on the negative. Or this is the way I do tapping. Some people only focus on the negative and just clear the negative out. I do my best to clear the negative out, and then I do the tapping to imprint a new idea. And so I was thinking a lot about like, well, what is the opposite of imagination? Like, how do we use this imagination faculty in ways that don't serve us? And so one of the things for me that I thought of, I was like, oh, negative visualization, like visioning like the worst possible outcomes is one of the things that I use it. In fact, my first spiritual teacher talked a lot about learning to love me, learning to love myself. And I remember she said, if you really loved yourself, you wouldn't scare yourself. And then I was like, oh, I'm doing this to myself, right? And so, but that's one way we can use imagination in a negative way. Then I also thought about like the doubt in possibility. Like we can use our imagination to doubt even that something is possible, or a belief in limitation. And so that's what I focused on with this tapping script that I made. And what I'd like you to do just to get started is maybe focus on times when you've used your imagination in ways that didn't really serve you, whether you're visualizing limitation, like I did, or through fear for a good portion of my life, and still struggle with occasionally, or limitation, and just focus on what that feels like in your body. It could be in your third eye, or it might show up somewhere else in your body, but just kind of tap into the sensation of what that's like. So I want you to start on the karate chop point and just repeat after me. Even though my imagination sometimes works against me, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I sometimes see limitations more than possibilities, I honor how my mind has tried to keep me safe. Even though I occasionally imagine the worst, I am willing to open to new visions filled with good. Okay, we'll start at the forehead. Sometimes my imagination only shows me what could go wrong. I picture the obstacles more than the opportunities. Sometimes I see limitations everywhere. I've rehearsed fear so many times. I recognize my imagination can create worst case scenarios. It's exhausting when my mind only paints in shadows. Doubt sneaks in and says, that's not possible. I've even let fear borrow the paintbrush of my imagination. What if my imagination is not the enemy? It just needs direction. Maybe I've been rehearsing fear, but I can rehearse possibility too. My imagination doesn't have to stay stuck in limitation. Every invention, every dream, every miracle began in imagination. I can start small, just one image of something good unfolding. I wonder what it would feel like to imagine success instead of failure. What if I could picture my life blossoming instead of breaking? And I allow my imagination to open up to all the good life has to offer. Like reclaim the power of my imagination. I see divine possibilities unfolding for me. My inner vision shapes a brighter reality. I imagine good flowing into every area of my life. I allow myself to dream bigger. I choose to see, I choose to picture love, joy, and harmony. My imagination is a sacred canvas. I allow spirit to paint through me. I am free to envision, create, and manifest my good. I like to take a deep breath and just exhale with a sigh. Ah. So, imagination is the power to shape possibility, to see beyond appearances, and to let divine mind paint through us. So, when we release fear and limitation, imagination becomes the doorway to our highest good. And with that, I say, so it is. Thank you.
Which means let yourself process the sweetness of life. Feed your soul with that sweetness. And conscious eating. We have actually spoken about organic foods, conscious foods, salads that have been mentioned. You know, those things do make me feel better. It makes me feel better when I'm eating keto, when I've cut out a lot of sugar. Take a look at your roots and fruits this week. Think about it. And then I wrote waking walks because we are in the body quarter. It is the most beautiful time of the year here. So walks and being awake and looking for those rainbow. I came up with rainbow picture. I found my rainbow picture. It's back in my I'll share that next week, I promise. And I also just want to give a shout out to anybody that gives a love offering to the garden. I want to say thank you, and the garden grams. And I want to give a shout out to Chrislyn because she's been sending me these almost every week. And there's these little cards that say on one side, Amy motherfucking Steinberg, how we met the Amy motherfucking Steinberg. And then it says she printed these up and I'm putting them all over my walls. And it's all the different ways that you guys have come across me, from whether it's a show, a church, a this or that, a person, you know, and it's very moving. So thank you for that, Chrislyn. And if you haven't sent a gardengram, I'm guilty. I haven't sent a gardengram. I haven't given a gift away in a while. I got to get back to it. I am dedicated to getting back to that, especially for the soul quarter. So garden grams, send one out this week. Why not? Send a garden gram. We've got the list of the addresses. Send something out to each other. And again, thank you so much for the love offerings. They help me pay for puppies. They don't help me pay for puppies. I promise you. Puppies are much more expensive than the Garden of Good. But I'm not going to preach that. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say I'm abundant. And I don't know, for some reason, a puppy, I just think I have the budget for it. You don't, you know, you don't coming back to what we talked about earlier, the grief thing, like the end of life thing, you just go, really, am I going to look back in my life and say I couldn't afford to get a fur ball of love? No, no, you get one. You get one. That's what you do.
Ode to the Watermelon by Pablo Neruda. The round, the magnificent, star-filled watermelon. It's a fruit from the thirst tree. It's the green whale of the summer. The dry universe all at once, given dark stars by this firmament of coolness, lets the swelling fruit come down. Its hemispheres open, showing a flag, green, white, red, that dissolves into wild rivers, shiver, delight. Jewel box of water, phlegmatic queen of the fruit shops. Warehouse of profundity, moon on earth, you are pure. Rubies fall apart in your abundance, and we want to bite into you, to bury our face in you and our hair and the soul. When we're thirsty, we glimpse you like a mine or a mountain of fantastic food. Among our longings and our teeth, you change simply into cool light that slips in turn into spring water that touched us once, singing. And that is why you don't weigh us down in the siesta hour. It's like an oven. You don't weigh us down. You just go by your heart. Some cold ember turned itself into a single drop of water.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit, great Spirit, source, force, sweetness, life, love, connection. Thank you for this opportunity to come together and be creative, to be expressed, to use our imaginations for good, to picture and know health, wealth, abundance, clarity, kindness, and most of all, to be able to just nourish ourselves, knowing that we are deserving of all the good. And as we know that we are deserving of the good, it ripples out to our beloveds, to our family, to our friends. And so I just speak a word right now of peace for the hearts that have been broken open by grief in recent weeks, for the hearts that are broken open by puppies and by newness and by change. And I just speak a word of gratitude for this season of life. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, gardeners. Thank you, Garden of Good. Thank you, Zoom communications. And so it is. And stick around if you want to chit chat for a bit. I'm going to just play the song out, and I love you. Here we go. Play, pray, slay. In the dark, gonna make good today. In the dark, gonna create, elevate, celebrate, and love. Made me from the GOG, Garden of Good Creativity. We get free, be me, work it effortlessly. Do what you love and then allow the prosperity. You got this. Make good, make it your own. You know you got the power in your mind, heart, body, and soul to grow dreams, grow faith, grow you. Create authentically in the Garden of Good. Give, live, and love. In a garden, gonna dig big and trust. In the garden, gonna create, elevate, celebrate, and love. Into the garden. Hey.